Um, this is hopefully only going to be a small video, but it's just a video based on morality and different anime and how certain morality decisions are viewed. It mainly goes on the fact that if you've watched Attack on Titan and you see Erwin Smith, who's the leader of the military in Attack on Titan, is divided up into three sections, and one of them's the Survey Corps, which are basically the scouts, and they're put in danger more often than not. Erwin Smith is pretty much Lord Commander Captain of the Scout Regiment, and in season 3, so spoilers, they're put in a really bad situation, and the only plan that Erwin can pretty much sum up that doesn't involve, running away and abandoning the mission. Because in truth, if they did abandon the mission, if they just split sideways, abandoned getting back War Maria and the city, and they just ran, there is a possibility that they might have just got away. A large amount of people would have survived. Instead, the plan that goes ahead is that one soldier is going to do a snake attack while the rest of them do a suicide charge, and essentially around 95% of the scout regiment is killed in this suicide charge, just so they have a chance of completing the mission at hand. It's a huge sacrifice. And even in the show, they address the fact through another character, one of the survivors. They turn around and they say, Erwin Smith, the leader of our military, is like the devil. The decisions that he makes, how many piles of bodies are just under him. It's a big theme in the show. And guess what? Guess what? This is the hard truth. People love Erwin Smith. Not doesn't matter how many people are dead. The Titans, even the nameless Titans, just random ones walking around, they're still seen as a threat. Unlike the Grimm, they are still seen as a threat. A random Titan can be more threatening to a pack of people, unless it's Levi, which is a testament to how strong Levi is. That, like, the difference between Levi and Mikasa and Armin and Eren is astronomical in terms of sword fighting. So you got different power levels in Attack on Titan. You got the most basic Titan as still a big threat, and you got characters that are making very hard decisions in terms of sacrifice, mass lives lost, and yet no one in the fandom condemns him. No one turns around and goes, Erwin Smith, you're an evil son of a bitch and we hate you. Because this is the world that they live in. It's cruel, it's bad, it's destruction. And where I'm going with this is in Rwby, it should have the same feeling. This world should have the same feeling. But it doesn't. Are the Grimm really a threat? Only in one instance. The Grimm are only a threat when they're in fucking huge numbers. We're talking like swarm numbers. Only then are these creatures actually a threat. Individually, not a threat. In small groups, not a threat. The apathy, because they had a special ability that actually... They're like the one exception to this rule. The thing is, the Grimm, we all know it in the fandom, they're not a threat. Ironwood is in a situation of Erwin Smith where he's like, you know what, I'm an Atlesian. He's not a rich aristocrat shit cunt Atlesian. He's the general, and he wants to save everyone's life. He's just very aware that he can't. And although the show does display this poorly, because the Atlesian military is not used to the not even average capability. The Atlesian military is used really shit in Volume 7. It's one of the lowest points of Volume 7, is that you can see 20 to 50 friggin' battle cruisers. You got what must be thousands of ships, take this instance. The rockets from the airships don't do shit to the Mammoth Grim, but 2 rockets from Elm's rocket launcher hammer destroy them. They both work for the Elysian military. They both got access to the same rockets, but you arm your ships with rockets that are pointless, but you give this bitch rockets that actually work. Off that for a sec. My point is that with Ironwood, half of the Rwby fandom has dubbed him evil, a tyrant, a prick. Oh, we should not be on his side. They don't understand Ironwood fanboys, such as myself, to a degree. Because I hate how he uses the military, but I love his ideology. And they're like, oh, you're all sick sons of bitches. And then you look at Attack on Titan, Owen Smith, everyone loves the freaking cunt. And these are like 2 individuals that are very similar, in the same position, trying to make really hard choices, trying to sacrifice lives for the greater good, to beat the mission, to save the world. They're trying to do everything in their power to save the friggin' world through... it's not morally good. It's morally questionable, but in the terms of the greater good aspect, that's what they're trying to do. Big difference between the two. In Attack on Titan, you got Armin. This is a big thing that comes up in Season 3, because it basically comes down to, are you going to save Erwin's life, or are you going to save Armin's friggin' life? Armin is a good successor to Erwin. I'm not happy Erwin's dead. But I understand why he's dead. Like, I cannot be happy about it, but writing-wise, they told a good story, and it makes sense. I just hope Armin gets, this whole, oh, you've seen the ocean, congratulations, now you got to become the commander. He's got to become the devil of the Scout Regiment. You got a worthy successor in Armin. Rwby. Who in Team Rwby, in Team Junior, who amongst them is a good successor to Ironwood? Nobody. Because they're all dumb. They're all dumbasses. The problem that by the time Volume 7 ends, Team Rwby and Junior do not have a plan. If you are going to turn around, because we all know Ironwood's going to die, at this point, you got to just ask yourself, really, is how are Team Rwby and Junior going to save the day? Because it's all right to turn around and say, we want to save everyone. Okay, you want to pull off the impossible. But how? How are you going to save everyone, Rwby? If you sat down, if you had half an hour during this grim invasion, sit down, you got Jean, you got Yang, you got Ruby Rose, you got Weiss, just sit down with them and go, well, you made an enemy of the military, so the military doesn't want to work with you. All up, you're 10 random people, Crow's been arrested and Robin's been, God knows, arrested, Tyrion's out in the open, Thingy is flying over the city with a giant friggin' army. How are you effectively, with your restrictions and limitations, how are you going to save both Mantle and Atlas? Because this is what happens. If you save Mantle, but Atlas gets sacrificed, Team Rwby become hypocrites. Because in the beginning, what was it? Where Atlas is going to survive and we're going to sacrifice Mantle. It's just the reverse. Unless they actually manage to save both cities and then pretty much the entire population, they are hypocrites for what they said at the end of Season 7. Unless they literally come out of the Atlas arc with everybody alive, and they pull it off somehow that actually makes friggin' sense and doesn't make Salem look weak, which I can't fucking comprehend how you would do that. I don't even know how you would write that. unless you just go full power of friendship shit. And this is where you turn into Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is fucking garbage. Garbage. And let me just explain, before I end this video, why. Why? It comes down to also, what is the most successful, and I'm not going to go into the final season or even, 6, 7, and 8. Game of Thrones is the biggest thing that happened in the last decade. Whether it's books or the show, ask yourself who the most interesting characters are in the show. And I guarantee you no one gives a fucking shit about Jon Snow. Mr. Honourable doesn't want to tell a lie, and in all honesty has zero battle plan experience when actually, if you go back and watch him and Sansa talking about the Battle of the Bastards, Sansa's the one with the fucking brain. Jon's just like, I got fucking numbers and you're a woman. You watch, I will fucking beat Ramsay Bolton. You know nothing about Ramsay Bolton. You don't know how he plays his enemies. It's just like, in Game of Thrones, the people who are cruel and tactical and willing to sacrifice actually become the most interesting characters. And the last interesting character that was noble, but was intelligent, was Robb Stark. And he's dead because he got outwitted by the enemy. The Red Wedding. He got outwitted by politics. Jesus. Fucking brilliant. This was back when the show was friggin' great. And then once the show became about dragons and explosions and just stupid shit, that's when the show went to shit. You see? Intelligence in a show, battle tactics in a show, knowledge in the show, and sacrifice through the greater good are the most interesting factors of a show. They make the characters more interesting. It's good, and on top of that, what do they say about Game of Thrones? It's good writing. It's good goddamn writing. This is why we're giving Rwby, why we give Miles and everyone so much shit. Because Ruby Rose, as a leader, is not interesting. She's Natsu Dragonil. I'm all fired up! Punch! That's her eyes, is basically his fucking fire punch. It's fucking boring. Weiss. I'm gonna restore the family fucking name by doing stupid shit. Honestly, she's a fucking idiot. Blake Belladonna. Her whole fauna story, she dumped on her parents. Miss Bitch, we're gonna take him back. But I have to go do the main plot, so I'm gonna dump it on my parents and they can take care of the fucking faunus. Because it's not important to me, even though 95% of my life has been involved with fairness and, equality. I'm gonna go spend time with Team Rwby because I spent a year of my life with them. A year of my life. 18-year-old fucking girl spends 1 year with Team Rwby, and all of a sudden Team Rwby is more important than her entire goal of her life. Well done, Blake Belladonna. And Yang. The big joke here, this is where I'm ending it, like this shit. Her boobs are getting smaller based on how relevant to the plot she is. That's what I've come up with. That's the meme for Yang Xiaolong. She had huge tits when this show friggin' started. And it's like, they got smaller the more and more less relevant to the actual story she is. To the point where I swear to fucking God, it's as if Weiss is bigger than her at this point. It's friggin' weird. Yang never, after the whole Raven shit, she has no reason to be a part of the story. And that's pretty sad when you think about it. But yeah, Crow's gone to shit. It's just like, in the end, to sum it all up, because I know this has been a messy video, I'm just like, in successful shows, like Attack on Titan, like in Game of Thrones, it was the greater good philosophy, it was the corrupt people, it was people willing to make sacrifices, it was well-used tactics in combat that actually brought about these interesting, fascinating characters. And in terms of Rwby, for some reason, half of the fucking fandom is sitting here going, we support Team Rwby. We want everyone to survive. We don't want to live in a world where even we have to sacrifice one person. Oh my god, Clover died. We knew him for fucking few episodes, and you know, he did a few dumb shit. And I'm in fucking tears because this new character died. And I'm just like, how fucked up is this fandom? How many of you have actually gone out? How many of you have watched Attack on Titan? How many of you have watched shows like Tokyo Ghoul, Hellsing Ultimate, Gantz? Watched all these friggin' shows, even in parts, even in Naruto somehow pulled this shit, even in One Piece pulls this shit off, and they're shonen. They're shonen. They have plot armor galore, but still they pull off the fucking emotions. Fucking Jiraiya's dead. Ace is dead. Whitebeard friggin' dead. They pull off these moments that are just like, Jesus friggin' Christ. Oh. That's my question is, why does the Rwby fandom support stupidity? It's like, just imagine, my overall question to everyone who's watched up to this point, imagine Volume 7 ends, and everyone in Mantle and Atlas friggin' lives. Imagine they push back friggin' Salem, everyone in Mantle and that lives. There's barely any death. We don't see any death on screen. None of the main characters die. Maybe one of the fucking Aesops, who gives a shit, dies. Imagine that happens. Why watch this show beyond that? Why would you want that? You want to see them overcome adversity, but first you got to make the enemy actually something to overcome. If there's no real enemy to overcome, we're just watching bullshit scenarios over and over again. So you tell me,